Question number 10, Eugenie Sage. Order. Order. Eugenie Sage.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Conservation and asks, when was he made aware that the Department of Conservation was preparing a submission that would address the potential effect of the proposed nutrient limits of the Tukituki Catchment Proposal?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, on Monday the 29th of July, I was advised that submissions closed that Friday, that the department was, quote, evaluating the project, and that there was a preliminary view that there was insufficient information on the nutrient management. I asked for more information and a copy of the submission and received that on Wednesday the 31st of July.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Given the Minister's answer and the fact that the Department's weekly report of the 29th of July clearly stated that DOC intended to submit on the nutrient limits, how does he explain his comments that he had no idea that the submission existed until last week?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I can only quote Doris Johnson, the Deputy Director of Conservation, and she said this: he never saw the draft submission that everyone is talking about. It was never provided to his office. It was an internal working draft by DOC. I think that's pretty clear.
Point of order.
Order. Order. Point of order, Eugenie Sage.
I seek leave to table part of the report from the Minister's office, titled Weekly Report 29 July 2013, which shows that the Minister was briefed on the submission that it included nutrient issues.
Leave us talk to order. Leave us sought to table that particular document, ministerial update. Is there any objection? There is none. That will be tabled.
Supplementary. Supplementary.
Supplementary question. Order. Order. Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Isn't it a fact that once he knew DOC intended to make a submission that went against his government's irrigation agenda, he raised concerns which resulted in that submission being stopped dead in its tracks?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, that is absolutely not true. And again, can I quote, and the Doris Johnson, the Deputy Director of Conservation, who was very well respected under the previous government as that role, said this, and I quote, "The Minister did not play any role in my decision-making. He never told me his view," quote, unquote. So how could it be possible for them to have drawn any conclusion about my view? I simply asked for a full briefing and a copy of the submission.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Does the Minister really expect the public to believe that DOC's U-turn on its proposed submission on water quality rules in the Tukituki catchment within 48 hours of him being alerted to the issue had nothing to do with him?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr
Mr.
Nick
Speaker,
Smith.
yes I do, and can I quote? Can I directly quote an email from Senior DOC Planning Manager who said this before the submission was finalised? "I'm a bit concerned that from a manager's perspective, the issue about whether we should be involved in the plan change, i.e. there were senior managers in DOC who did not agree with the draft submission."
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Thank you. Isn't it the case that this review of the submission process that he wants is a sideshow and an attempt to distract from the real issue, which is his political interference with DOC's submission?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I have said that DOC should review the process around the Tukituki submission. And the reason is this. This is a major project. The first I knew of the issue of the submission was just 5 days, and I would note there's actually a Labor Cabinet minute that said that when submissions are made in the resource consent process, that there should be a better process than what DOC followed in this case. That's why it's being reviewed, and I think there are some lessons to learn from the Tukituki submission process.
Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Point of order.
Order. Point of order. The right honourable
Mr. Speaker, given the Minister's denial to question 4 today, I seek to table 2 further emails. One dated Thursday, 8 August of this year, which states we would like to take up your offer to provide resources and a possible writer of the initial documentation to meet the necessary requirements of a commissioning agency for the North Island, addressed to Minister Turia. This one is a second email dated the 18th of August, where it is set out very clearly. Also worth noting that Minister Turia seems willing to provide funding to assist iwi leaders to prepare their bid for this mahi, and those 2 emails...
Order. Leavers sought to table 2 emails, one dated the 8th of August, one the 18th of August. Is there any objection to that course of action? There appears to be none. They can
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order. The Honourable Ruth Dyson.
I raise a point of order in relation to question 10, the one that we were dealing with before that point of order. During his answer to the primary question and a supplementary later, the Minister first of all quoted the department in saying that they were evaluating the project. It was a direct quote. And secondly, he quoted from an email from a doc manager. Again, a direct quote. He's quoting from official documents. He's required to
That's easily now resolved. Was the Minister quoting from an official document?
Mr. Speaker, both the documents that I referred to have been in the public arena and are on the DOC website.
Order. Order. Order.
Point of order.
Right, Robertson.
In terms of whether he was quoting from an official document, it's irrelevant as to whether they're in the public arena. If he was quoting from an official document, he has to table.
The easiest way forward is to allow the Minister, at some stage,
Mr. Speaker,
to table 2 documents that are freely available.
I'm more than happy. Normally, I thought the convention was that you were not allowed to table documents that are in the public arena. But, Mr. Speaker, if I can oblige by tabling both, I'd be very happy to do so.
Order. On this occasion, if the Minister was quoting from an official document, the members asked for it, it will be tabled in due course. Honourable Ruth Dyson, question number 11.
My question is to the Minister of Conservation. Does he still stand by his